Hi everyone, I've been doing loads of travelling recently with the baby, and so I thought that I would just go through my little setup that I've got when I'm away with him. He's 5 months old now. He's actually asleep on the bed behind, can you see him? I'm in Ramsgate. I've been at a summer party and we're supposed to have checked out, but he needs a feed because it's a 2-hour journey to get home, and I'm really not happy about sort of waking him up but then bundling him in the car because he doesn't really feed as well when we're out and about. I think it's just changes to scenario and routine. So I'm waiting for him to wake up and then I'm going to feed him and then we're going to set off. But I thought that I'd just take you through a few of the things that I pretty much always bring with me and did with Angelica as well when I'm travelling, just to make life easier. So and just to make me sort of feel like I've got my home set up but away from home. So the first thing that I normally always have with me is a grow bag. This one is an Orla Keeley one with Martians on. Doesn't have to be the actual brand grow bag. I suppose lots of people make them, but they do really nice designs. And I just find that if I've got one of those, it's like a little sleeping bag that you put on them and it fastens here. You've probably seen them. And I just find that I've always used them because blankets, they just come off and they get cold and you're just constantly putting them back on again. But also when the babies are really young, I always had that worry that the blanket was going to ride up over their face. So for me, from about sort of 2 months onwards, I used a grow bag, or use a grow bag. And then the other thing sleeping wise that I bring, actually most of these things are sleeping because I don't actually need any other paraphernalia really, just because he's breastfed, so I just need stuff for him to sleep in and boobs and nappies, and then we're pretty much done. I bring the sleepy head. It means that any sort of surface can become a cot. He actually does use a sleepy head at home anyway in the bedside sleeper thing. So if there's a hotel travel cot and it's not really quite right, like the one that they've given me here, the mattress doesn't fit. Don't know whether you can see that. So it curves up at the end. And if I didn't have the sleepy head, I don't know, I'd feel a bit weird about that, just because mattresses have just got to fit correctly and I wouldn't be able to rest properly. Just putting the sleepy head inside the cot means that I feel like I've got his home sleeping environment, but here. And so even if it was just going to be on the bed next to me, or which I've never really done, but you could do, or I mean, he's actually been on the floor before on a rug and a sleepy head in an extreme circumstance, and that worked fine. It was a warm room, so I wasn't too worried. But yeah, I really like being able to bring that with me. It just makes life a lot easier. And then the other thing that I have in terms of sleeping, if I just take this out, and you can see underneath here that I've Angel Care monitor pad. So this, don't know whether you've seen these before, is one half of the baby monitor that I've had for years, and I inherited it off my sister and she'd had it for years. So it's actually really old. It's the Angel Care, I'm not sure of the model name, but I'll put it in the description. But it's not a video one, it's just sound and also motion. Now when I had Angelica, I was really against the whole motion detector thing. I was like, oh my god, it's scaremongering. You know, like it's very sad, but it's very rare for a baby to sort of just for no reason stop breathing in the middle of the night. But I got made to feel that it was quite a common thing. And anyway, when Angelica got to about 3 or 4 months, I started freaking out about it, weirdly, because she was a bit older then. And then I started using the monitor motion detector thing that came with the monitor, because before that I just used the sound bit. And I actually really like it. So it detects even the smallest movements. So it detects the breathing motion. And then you get a little light that's on the receiver. And if anything happened, like they stopped breathing, stopped moving completely, after about 10 or 15 seconds, it starts to sound an alarm. I've had very few false alarms with it, so that's quite good. Although it didn't work so well on this cot last night because the surface wasn't flat and firm. It needs to have some sort of board or hardness underneath it, if that makes sense, for the motion to work properly. But I've used it in loads of different travel cots, and I test it by really lightly pressing my hand on different parts of the mattress and then taking it off again. So I'm quite thorough with how I make sure that it's working. But to be quite honest, lots of times when we're at home and when we're away, after I've fed him in the night, I forget to switch it back on again. So it's one of those things that you don't need particularly, but it really, unless you've got a baby that's that they've said, look, there's a risk of this happening, I suppose. But you don't particularly need it. But oh, I sleep so much better with it on because I don't have that thing of constantly checking, which I did when Angelica was really young. So I really like, if I can, just bringing that with me, and it doesn't really take up that much space. If you're sort of away and you don't have your partner with you and you're not in your familiar surroundings, it's quite nice to have a few things with you that you've got at home. And then the other thing that I always have is this changing bag. This is by Baby Stream, and it either can be like this, so just a bag that you sling over your shoulder, which is really handy, or if you've got loads and loads of stuff to take with you, if you look at it from the top, it's sort of square, so it folds outwards and you've got all this room, and it's got different compartments inside, but 2 big compartments. So what I tend to do is all my stuff that I need in one side and all the baby's stuff in the other side, and things that are really vital, like I don't know, like breast pads, for example, or toothbrush or nappy cream or wipes, and there's a central pocket, so I put that in there. I take that, and then always have car seat if I'm driving. And so I'm still using in my car, my husband's got the one that swivels, which I can't remember what it's called, Britex Roma, I think it is, purple one. And I still have the Cybex that I used when Angelica was newborn, because it's so good for newborn babies. It's sort of more geared towards small babies, and it's really easy. It fits on the ISOFIX really easily. But if I've got to go in a taxi, which I did yesterday, and then my friend Caroline brought me back to the hotel, so again, different car, it's really easy to strap in with a belt as well. And it's light, so you can carry it around. It's got a really good sun canopy. So that if I'm driving, and then if I'm on the train and I haven't got the car, then I'll just have the pushchair. And I find that that's pretty much all I need really, and then I load everything into the bottom of the pushchair. So I suppose all of this is probably the same sort of stuff that everybody has, is it? I'm not sure, but that's it. Those are my essentials. Obviously nappies, like I said, change of baby clothes, but all of that's pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing else I think trick-wise. I mean, it'd be nice to bring a pillow with me, breastfeeding pillow, but that never happens because it would just be too bulky. Those are my little travel essentials with a newborn or young baby. Hope that you've enjoyed that, and I'm off to enjoy a bit more of the sun, and I'll see you next time.